Hi, my name is Colbier, and on GOG every single game is DRM free. Also, you can download the installers at any time, so you actually own the games you buy. Let's start with Diablo and Hellfire. First, Diablo is a wonderful game, and I will say honestly, it aged really well. If you have never played the game, keep in mind that there is an HD mod somewhere on the internet available, and the game looks really modern if you use it. I think it's almost mandatory for everyone who likes games like Path of Exile, who played Diablo 2, who thinks about or plays Diablo 4, and who enjoys Grim Dawn occasionally, to beat Diablo and then some other monstrosity in its expansion at least once. You know, it's like for every movie lover, it is mandatory to watch American Beauty, Aliens, Schindler's List, or Pulp Fiction. You know, only by playing the first Diablo you will realize how actually cool this game was, and that we aren't that much far away with the genre in general. First Diablo is a serious game, and the cool thing is that it doesn't feel like a downgrade version of newer Diablo games. As I've said, it aged very well. Not like you and me, my friend. Sadly, we don't have HD mod for our faces and bodies, I guess, yeah. And you will find all the links to the games in the description below. Middle-earth: Shadow of War. This is Lord of the Rings themed orc killing simulator. I don't even know how else to name it, because all you do here is orc killing. Even orcs kill other orcs here. You will go behind enemy lines to forge your army, conquer fortresses and dominate Mordor from within. Experience how the award-winning Nemesis system creates unique personal stories with every enemy and follower, and confront the full power of the Dark Lord Sauron and his ringwraiths in this epic Middle-earth story. Also, you can try a demo version of it for free on Steam if you want. You can also obtain Definitive Edition that includes Desolation of Mordor story, Blade of Galadriel story, Slaughter Tribe Nemesis and Outlaw Tribe Nemesis expansions. The price is very nice, so why not? Alien Isolation. Here you are all alone in a giant space station and a xenomorph is hunting you. You have no guns, you are the prey, but despite the fact that you are a woman, your balls are way bigger than some men have, definitely bigger than mine. So you are being hunted by a creature of nightmares, smart, stealthy and built to kill. Sometimes it can take an hour without an encounter, sometimes you can feel it creeping upon you in the vents, sometimes you can hear it, and sometimes you just die because a xenomorph is not some usual monster. It's terrifying. Really terrifying. The feeling when you see him launching at you from a distance will put your heart into your heels. It looks and moves in a way which somehow invokes the primal fear in your brain. To play this game you will have to have huge and hairy mental balls, because with time you may get used to the alien, you may get used to hiding and even to jump scares, but when the game guides you to the alien nest, and it's the only way to go, you will only wish that you had not 2 balls, but at least 4, or more likely 7. Yeah, 7 is good number. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Complete Edition. This is the best version of Heroes 3 you can get. It's not the same as on Steam, this version has more material included and also is compatible with HD mod. But the most important thing, you can upgrade it with Horn of the Abyss expansion for free. And you can't do that with Steam version of the game. Horn of the Abyss provides new town, new units, heroes and spells. I have a video in my channel explaining how to do all the upgrading step by step. There is a card in the upper corner right now. Click it and watch later. And this price is a complete joke. And oh, you can play multiplayer with the upgrades as well. Shadowrun Returns. Magic has returned to the world, awakening powerful creatures of myth and legend. Technology here merges with flesh and consciousness. Elves, trolls, orcs and dwarves walk among us, while ruthless corporations bleed the world dry. Here you are a Shadowrunner, a mercenary living on the fringes of society in the shadows of massive corporate arcologies, surviving day by day on skill and instinct alone. When the powerful or the desperate need a job done, you get it done, by any means necessary. Or, you know, fail miserably and try again. People on Steam are saying that this is a solid strategy RPG that scratches the itch for games like Baldur's Gate or Divinity Original Sin. Also great for Fallout and Wasteland fans. Wasteland 3 Colorado Collection. I will say bluntly, if you like tactical turn-based games, this RPG here is a must-play. It's not a recommendation or something, but the law. You must play it if you want to go, you know, to game hell after your death. Anyway, this version of the game includes both the Battle of Steeltown and Cult of the Holy Detonation expansions, as well as the Colorado Survival Gear bonus items. And the game itself is a wonderful gem for all Fallout, Baldur's Gate and all turn-based combat fans. In Wasteland 3 you will travel to the frozen wastes of Colorado to deal with gangs, cults and psychopathic clowns in effort to bring stability to the Wastes. Or, you know, as always, even more chaos and even more psychopathic clowns. Yeah, not like in real life, your decisions really matter and the world will change according to your actions and reactions. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This is probably the best fantasy open-world RPG ever created, and I doubt that I could find anyone who at least never heard of it. Well, at least inside the Western influence hemisphere, it's a true legend, and my friendship with Witcher Geralt started way before any of the games were released. I read the book when I was a teenager, and after many years I even got Andrzej Sapkowski to sign it for me when he was visiting Lithuania for some book fair or something. And we also spoke for like 20 seconds as well. Never washed my mouth in years after that. Anyway, the game has an incredible story, super fun gameplay and a huge dark fantasy open world to explore. The coolest thing is, of course, your profession. You kill monsters for money, so you can just travel around the map and fulfill contracts ignoring the main story as long as you want or as long as you can get a new contract. And every single monster hunt is a handcrafted mission with different outcomes and sometimes hard moral choices. Third Witcher is probably the best game I have ever played. Titan Quest Anniversary Edition. Initially the game was released in 2006, so it would be outdated by now, but thanks to this major overhaul, it is not. And it has more than 90% of positive reviews, so please, nail down your attention if you like games like Diablo. So if you ever played the old version, keep in mind that here you will get better resolutions, larger camera distance, multiplayer, mod support, Steam achievements, improved enemy and pet AI, countless bug fixes, dozens of new heroes, and so on. Titan Quest is a great game, one of the most beloved by the action RPG community, and I couldn't recommend it to you enough. It's literally like a potato itself in a potato salad, and people on Steam are saying that this is a masterful variation of Diablo formula and an absolute must-play if you like isometric hack-and-slash titles. Tower of Time. This is a story-rich dungeon crawler with innovative real-time combat that lets you pause or slow time. And here you have to turn on your brain if you want to succeed. And I mean it, every battle is specially designed to be a tactical puzzle, so it might be a bit challenging. Or impossible, depends on your IQ I guess. Well, you can always adjust the difficulty, but that is an instant insult to your brain power, isn't it? Also because of that, the game is really suitable for fans of the genre and not so friendly for new players. Tower of Time will burn about 50 hours of your boring lifetime as you enjoy handcrafted levels and interesting story. You'll also find thousands of pieces of loot and equipment. BioShock Remastered. This is an immersive sim shooter loaded with powerful weapons and interesting tactics. You'll have a complete arsenal at your disposal, from simple revolvers to grenade launchers and chemical throwers, but you will also be forced to genetically modify your DNA to create an even more deadly weapon, which is you. So there is only a small chance that you have never heard about the game, but I can assure you that BioShock is one of the best first-person shooter games ever created, and this remastered version includes some additional content, 65 Steam achievements, full controller support, modern textures, and of course 4K support as well. Second part is also discounted, but if you never played BioShock, start with the first part. The game is story rich and it would be a shame to skip a huge part of it. Spellforce free Reforced. If you are searching for something like the third Warcraft, search no more. This is a fun mix of RPG and RTS, meaning that most of the time you will control heroes that can gain experience, new skills and all that. Really similar to Warcraft's additional huge maps where you control Rexxar, and the other half of the game is traditional base building, unit training and upgrading so you could swarm the enemy with your eternal wrath. Campaigns are really well written, so reading and listening for conversations will be the thing you'll do a lot. And I mean it, about a third of the game consists of dialogues. So if you just want quick matches where you can show your insane APM of 20, it's not the case. But if you want story-rich RTS RPG game, this is definitely for you. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. This is a stealth-based game, meaning that you can shoot your way through the enemies or sneak up behind them without being traced, hack systems to retrieve information, or use your social skills to extract information from key characters. There are always choices, multiple approaches, multiple paths, and multiple tools at your disposal. People on Steam are talking that Deus Ex is really enjoyable, although very linear. But in this instance, the linear aspect is a good thing, because despite the fact that the game is guiding you in your path, it doesn't hold your hand or penis, and you are free to approach every situation as you please. And as I've mentioned before, the ways of playing are really numerous, and the only limit is your imagination. That also means that everyone without imagination has no limits at all. Let it sink. Yeah, also I can promise that in Deus Ex you will find many amazing music scores. The game has a really exceptional soundtrack which is creating an amazing atmosphere. Dragon's Dogma: Dark Arisen. This is a massive, challenging action RPG that drops you into a vast open world full of different creatures and characters. The game was a bit underrated when it initially came out, but over the years Dragon's Dogma regained its glory. I've heard that the second part is in the works as well, but the release date is rumored to be only in the year of 2025. Dragon's Dogma shares its open nature with the games like Horizon and Witcher 3, but has more strategy and more dynamic fights. It's a tougher game in general, but if you like to explore the open world and love fantasy games, you will probably like this game as well. Gamers are talking that this is an underrated gem that is a must-play for every open-world RPG fan. Call of Cthulhu. The year is 1924 and here you will take on the role of a private detective. But instead of catching cheating husbands and wives, you must do a bit more serious job. So you are sent to investigate the death of a well-known family on a remote island. What could go wrong? Yeah, you will probably meet some strange creatures, experience weird science and even come face to face with a creepy cult. I mean, what else is there to do when you spend your time on an isolated island? Knit socks? Repaint the fences? Make potato salad? Although I doubt that you could find the best quality doctor's sausage here. But if you think about it, honestly, if the people of the island would do some sock knitting and repainting the fences for fun, maybe, just maybe, they wouldn't need to join a sinister cult for fun. Some food for thought. Anyways, people are saying that the story of the game is very interesting, engaging and spooky, but Call of Cthulhu doesn't let you explore much. It is more focused on nice cutscenes and it does feel more like an adventure game. Darksiders Genesis. This is a great game with great humor and very positive reviews on Steam. It is well balanced to play in co-op mode, but also fun in single player as well without any regrets. You, like me, probably have no friends anyway. Although I must warn you that here you'll do more shooting than bashing and slashing, but you will get a fair share of the latter as well. Gamers on Steam are praising the aesthetics, interesting story and fun gameplay, but are grumpy about controls and few almost unsolvable puzzles. Game has great graphics, a bit childish dialogues, terrible camera angles and no potato salad class, which is a shame. Anyway, from me it gets 8 cold beers out of 10. Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. This game reminds me of Witcher, but for a younger or, less brutal audience, because it has somewhat similar battle mechanics, open world full of monsters, many dialogues, third-person view and so on. But here you will not find any gore, twisted creepy quests, splattering blood fountains or any nudity. Redhead will never show what she's hiding. Here you will get no love affairs, no hot scenes by the waterfall, just robot dinosaurs and indigenous people. I played about 30 hours of this game a few years ago on my PlayStation. I had a great time, but I never finished it because I encountered a difficulty spike and I couldn't play anymore without loading a save game that was an hour ago. And I had no intention to do that. So be careful of the places named the Cauldron. Make sure your character level is appropriate before entering inside. Thank you for watching, have a nice day.
And I'll see you next time.
Bye.